What's up, Cali Bills? It's your boy Prime here at Cali Bills Talk. Post game instant reaction from the absolute dog walk of a game when we just played the Tennessee Titans. I do have a special guest on the show today. It's a good friend of mine, my boy Tony. I'm going to bring him in. He's going to give, hopefully, his unbiased review of what he thought about the game, what he thought about the Bills. Let me know if I am justified that our defense is absolute shit, or disagree and say that we'll be just fine. Tony is a Dallas Cowboys fan, so I'll leave it there. I don't have any problems with the Dallas Cowboys, especially we're going to get into it. We're going to get into the drumming of the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions last week. The Cowboys were on a bye this week, so he was free to jump in. So without further ado, I'm going to throw him in here.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Sorry.
All good, man.
Real quick. Hold on. Come on.
Are you on the camera?
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I will continue to run the show here for a second. Tony is a family man. He has a family, beautiful family, as you could tell right there. Being a father comes first, and that's just what it is, man. It's family over everything. So what we want to do here in this post-game reaction is not only talk about the Bills, the things that they did good, the things that they did bad, but really just talk about the things that I think are a problem, right? So whether it's defense, whether it's the slow offensive start, whatever it is. So it looks like Tony is back, so I'm going to go ahead and throw him back in. So what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Sorry, my bad. My daughter was knocking on the door and throwing a little bit of a fit, so I had to go take care of that real quick. But
no, dude, not a problem. I told everybody that, hey, family comes first, man.
Yep, absolutely. Sometimes we got to step away, and that's all right.
Yes, sir.
But as far as the Bills today, I think what I saw was like resiliency as far as going down early. And we've seen that. I would personally say I've seen every single game where they go down early, except for maybe the Miami game. But every single game they have, I don't know what it is, just start slow. Maybe they just don't seem like they have any enthusiasm to start the game. And then once shit gets real at halftime, then they're like, oh, hey, we gotta jump on this shit. And
Week one against Arizona, we were down 17-0.
Yeah. And then made a second half comeback, which is, great. That's awesome. But you don't want to be down 17-0.
Hell.
And then who was it that they played week 2 was they had the same exact issues.
I will right now because we started 3-0. We started the season obviously against the Arizona Cardinals, and then we right into the Miami Dolphins game.
Yeah, Tua went down that game, and supposedly he's supposed to be back this next week or start practicing again this next week. But the Ravens went down early against the Texans and tried to make a comeback. And then, the Jets game, that was a back and forth game. That was a close game all game. But my thing is, I think that they just need to figure it out from the start of the game. You can't go down and expect to come back every single game or go down. And some of these teams, if you let them get a big lead, look at the Ravens, a big lead, and you don't come back early or you don't keep up with them, they're going to work you all game.
Perfect example, and I put this out in previous content. Perfect example, we dog walked. We were down, but we ended up dog walking Arizona. We dog walked the Dolphins in week 2, absolutely smashed the Jags in week 3, and then we got humbled immediately by Baltimore in week 4.
Mm-hmm.
We did not deserve to be on the same field as Baltimore. I already gave them their flowers. So right after, which was brutal in my opinion, the Bills had 3 away games in a row. Okay, 3 AFC away games in a row with Baltimore, Houston, and the Jets.
Yeah.
In the stretch, we did go 1-2, but I mean, honestly, we should have went 2-1 in that stretch. Baltimore was a loss from the get-go, but we should have beat Houston.
I agree with that. Houston's a tough team, but they're not that strong. I don't know if it was just Josh Allen oversighting himself with, Stephon Diggs being on the other team. They weren't prepared. There's a lot that can go wrong with stuff like that. And just one of those games that, again, they just weren't, I don't know. I hate to say enthusiasm, but the want or the will
No drive, right?
Yeah, no drive, no energy. It just seems like a lull at the beginning of the game, and they have to win a lot of these upcoming games. You guys have the Seahawks next week, and the Seahawks they're a slow starting team too. We saw that today against the Falcons, but then they go and they kill the Falcons like 38-3 or something like that.
Oh yeah, they killed the Falcons today.
Yeah.
I think we scored the same amount of points. I think there was like 34-10 or 34-3.
34-14.
34-14.
Yeah. But they killed the Falcons. But it was a slow game. And Kayla was asking me today, she's like, why don't you want to watch the Seahawks? Like, because they're so boring to watch. Probably one of the most boring one-dimensional teams to watch. And they're a decent team, but they won 3 in a row, then they lost 3 in a row. Then they just won this last one. Are they going to take that same energy at home against the Bills next week? And the Bills are going on the road to the West Coast, playing in Seattle. Tough environment. Seattle, I've been to a couple Seattle games. Is a tough environment to be in. And don't know what the weather's going to be like. It's probably going to be rainy because now is the rainy season. So if they start out slow like this against the Seahawks, I think they'll be okay. But
I hope so.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of the Seattle games like from start to finish, but one of the things I've noticed, and I've put this out a shitload, I've beat it to death. The Bills really suffer on defense when, running back just straight up the middle, really just draw play up the middle or any sort of dive up the middle. We suffer on any sort of play action and or running back screens. And if we play any sort of team with a savage like receiving back, we're done.
Yeah. Well, and I saw that with Mason Rudolph is containing the quarterback. He's so slow, but he gets 3 or 4 yards without being touched. Like, bro, what are we doing?
Right.
Von Miller's suspended though, isn't he? I heard that he requested a trade.
Oh, fuck me. I didn't.
But that was weeks ago though, so I don't I don't know. That was a while ago. Like right at the beginning of his suspension, I heard that he had requested a trade. So I don't know how true or real that is.
So I haven't heard anything on the Buffalo Wire. I'm extremely tapped in. He did get suspended 4 games, so I think he is. Oh man, I think he's back for the Seattle game actually.
Okay.
Cool. Which I think he's not the Von Miller, for the first couple years in the league, but I mean, he's good enough still to be like, okay, we need to know where Von Miller is at all times, right? I think before the suspension, he had 3 sacks in 3 games.
Yeah.
So he's just that veteran presence on the field, but I'm confident with like Greg Rousseau still. AJ Epinesa, I feel like our defensive linemen are undersized.
Mm-hmm.
And like every play, they're just on skates.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's just containing the running back, containing the quarterback. Their secondary seems like it's all right. Mason Rudolph had 1 interception today?
Yeah, he threw for just over 200. I think he threw for 215. Our corners are okay. And I beat this to death as well. I know he had an interception today, and I know everyone's like, oh man, he almost died on the field, but I don't like Damar Hamlin.
It's at this point, I appreciate the story. It's a great comeback story, great story, all of it. When he got hurt, he was a 3rd string?
Dude,
he never played maybe 2 snaps the entire season. Then he gets hurt, and then he needs to be back in the league. Okay, yeah, great, again, a great story. It reminds me of, I don't know if it's Shaquille Griffin. You remember that kid with linebacker out of UCF missing his hand?
Yep.
Or missing elbow down, and the Seahawks drafted him.
Yep.
Same exact story. Like it's just a PR. Let's hey, everyone can play football. Even the guy that just died on the field, he can play football. Again, glad that he's all right, and it's a great story, but he can still play, and so we'll throw him in some more. Maybe he's improving, but maybe he's just on the back end of that improving. He's just not ever going to be that top guy.
No, I agree. I've dove into almost every game where I put the game on and I'll pause it so I get a good view of where guys are, and Houston play, right. So DeMar is like a free safety, right? And growing up, I've always been told that safeties, nothing gets behind you, right?
Yep.
So I'm looking, and CJ Stroud throws a home run ball to Nico Collins. He goes untouched, and DeMar Hamlin is 10 yards behind the play.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa.
Where were you, bud? Like you should be catching everything that's deep. Even on man-to-man, the safety's still back there.
Well, right now we have DeMar and we have a rookie in Cole Bishop.
What happened to
we got rid of Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer.
That's who it was. Why Micah Hyde? Is it just money or rebuild? Defensive rebuild?
I think it was injuries and his age. Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, Jordan Poyer still plays for the Dolphins.
Yeah, Dolphins defense is doing all right. Not the greatest, but they're all right.
But I posted this question to not only anybody who watches this later on, because I don't really get a lot of views up front, but as this post, this video will probably get up to over 100 views. So appreciate to everybody who's watching it later on. But my question to everybody is, the Bills defense right now, you can add in Von Miller or not. Are we confident in, even you for an unbiased look are you confident that the Bills can make a deep run this year? Because I sure the fuck am not.
No. I don't think so.
We're on the same page.
Yeah, I think that the Bills win the AFC East.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's going to be a first-round exit. Because the AFC is stacked.
Yeah.
The Bengals are figuring their shit out, and they still might even miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's very possible because the Steelers are number one in that division right now. So you have, let me see. No, not NCAA.
Oh, Baltimore. Baltimore is first in that division.
That makes sense, yeah.
But so
Baltimore's in first. Pittsburgh's 4-2. Russell Wilson is, making his debut tonight against the Jets. And Cincinnati is on the up and up. But again, they still might miss the playoffs because Kansas City's 5-0. Houston's 5-2. Indianapolis is 4-3. That's surprising to me. I didn't see them winning any games for a while. But it's not like the NFC where it's wide open.
Right.
NFC is competitive, but not as competitive as the AFC because Kansas City is trying to go for a three-peat. They're going to be a tough team to play on the road in the playoffs. We saw Miami last year with however great their offense was last year go into Kansas City in January where it's negative 20-something degrees outside. Helmets are breaking because they're frozen.
Right.
and the Dolphins can't do anything against them. And so it's just there's a lot of good home teams in the AFC when it comes to wintertime. And a lot of these teams play in cold weather. Not a lot of like Houston. I mean, probably they don't play in cold weather. It's Houston, but Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, those are all cold in the winter. Buffalo is cold in the winter too, but it's all the same level playing field at that point. Then It's just who's the better team. And I don't think the Bills have a better team with how much they've struggled to stop any of these teams. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, just a couple stats from today, and I've said this even during my live, and I've said this in other things. In my opinion, we start obviously slow, and we start very lethargic and very I don't even know the word, predictable.
Yeah.
Right. So very, very predictable. I don't play in the NFL. I don't know what plays are going to be called, but I'm like, okay, we're in this formation. It's going to be a draw play. 10 times out of 10, it's a draw play that goes for negative yards. Right.
Yeah.
And here's a shitty fucking stat from today. In the first half, the Bills had 57 pass yards in the first half.
It's 4 for 11.
4 for 11, 57 pass yards, and 90 yards total. I mean, we turned it around in the second half, luckily, but I mean, 3 straight 3-and-outs. I mean, in my opinion, the Bills, we won the first coin flip. So we decided usually we defer, but the Bills are like, no, we want the ball and we're going to score. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, fuck, we're going to go down and score, dude. 3-and-out within a minute.
But if you look at those stats from, before, where he missed seven passes, so 4 for 11, he ended 21 for 33.
Yeah, it's still pretty solid. Yeah.
So that second half, where let's say 17, he only missed. Oh, I'm trying to do the quick math in my head, can't do it, but. Oh, man, I can't do the math. But he only missed, 3 or 4 passes in the second half? Something like that.
Yeah, he was 21 to 33, right?
Total? For total.
Math was never my strong suit. So he threw.
So in the second half, he was 17 for 22.
Yeah. For what, a 64% completion percentage-ish?
Yeah.
Okay. So not too super terrible, but when Josh Allen 77?
Yeah, 77% in the second half.
Okay. So a little better, but for a quarterback that arguably, which is why I get more pissed off that he didn't win MVP last year.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not going to win it this year. Right?
No.
There's just no fucking way. And if he does, then, right, it's probably going to be Lamar or Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I'm keeping an eye on the score right now, and the Kansas City is winning 14-3.
Oh,
right now.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. Oh, and it's on the road.
It might be Jaden Daniels, though. Oh, Jaden Daniels isn't playing? Did he get hurt?
No, Kansas City is up on the Niners.
I know. I was looking at the Commanders and Panthers game real quick because they're up 27-0 to Carolina.
Which is what we should have been on Tennessee, to be honest.
Yeah.
To go into the half losing to Tennessee, like, that's fucking unsat, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then go out and score, 27 unanswered points?
And I tell people all the time, because I get it, dude. I get bashed all the time for, like, oh, dude, you're not a diehard Bills fan. You always let the team have it. Like, what's up? Why don't you support your team? I'm like, bro, if you love something and you spend time on it, you're going to be honest with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat the shit.
No, they have a lot of flaws. Kansas City, even them being the favorite to win the Super Bowl, they have flaws. And they don't really have much of a receiver core right now because Rashee Rice went down. But the Bills, can you answer me this one question? Why aren't they feeding Amari Cooper the ball earlier?
Oh, I said the same thing. He had 2 days of practice, right? I get it. Yep. He had a walkthrough day, and then he had 1 day of I don't even think he was in full pads. But so 2 days of practice, and I'm like, okay, he's going to play. I was like, okay, hopefully we start off the game by just at least getting him targets like we used to force feed takes, right? Get him in the game early. He played probably less than 50% of the plays today, but he made the most of it when he was in. He had, I think he finished with 60-something yards and a touchdown, so that's good. But back to Kansas City real quick, I feel like they're only successful because of Andy Reid.
Yes. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, for sure. Mahomes and Reid.
But the coaching is phenomenal on that team. He gets them, they might start slow. I was watching some of the game before we got on here, and Brock Purdy throws an interception. On the very next drive, Kansas City Patrick Mahomes gets his ball batted and intercepted. So game started out a little slow. Neither team could get anything going, but obviously they turned it around. If it's 14-3, yeah. So they turned it around. So and that's the second quarter,
right?
And that's all coaching,
right? So I always tell people I'm not taking anything away from Mahomes. He's a beast, right? He's won 3 Super Bowls already. So two or three. So he's
3.
3.
Because he beat San Francisco, and then they went back-to-back Eagles and San Francisco again.
Right. So he's won 3 Super Bowls. I get it, but if you took Patrick Mahomes right now and put him on like the Carolina Panthers tomorrow, like he might struggle a little bit, right? Because of like the coaching and the players are just not as good, right? He doesn't have that safety outlet in
Travis Kelce. Yeah. And yeah, I think that it's all environment, it's all atmosphere, and just the dynamic of the coaching and the team. Because obviously teams saw something in Patrick Mahomes why they didn't draft him. Kansas City took a chance on him, and it worked out pretty great for him. Yeah. But if he would have went to the Bears, would it have been the same? Probably not, because he sat a year behind Alex Smith, which is, I would say, in his time, a top 10 quarterback in the league for the majority of his career. So does he have the same success with the Bears? Because they always say, "Oh, we drafted Mitch Trubisky over Mahomes. We should have drafted Mahomes." What if he had the same success? Probably not.
Especially back then, no. But right now, probably, because the Bears are loaded.
Oh, the Bears' defense is crazy right now. And their offense, they have, what, DJ Moore. They have Rome Odunze is coming out as a pretty good rookie receiver. They have DeAndre Swift. They have some really, really good running backs. The running backs aren't doing that great right now. Their defense is stacked. They're 4-2 for a reason, even when Caleb Williams is struggling, but he's not struggling as much as he was the first 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it was bad.
Which I'm happy to see, but I also kind of hope that he isn't as good as everyone says, because everyone was so high up on this guy for so long. And, the Bears are Super Bowl contenders now. Let's let the guy play a little bit first. He's not going to Super Bowl this year, next year, for a while.
And I 100% agree with that. And everyone's like, well, why do you hate on Caleb Williams so much? You don't even know him. I'm like, bro, I'm a diehard SC fan. So I know Caleb Williams very well. And even though I was an SC fan, I was never a fan of Williams.
Oh, I never saw what everyone else saw, like all the analysts and everything saw in him. Because when I watched him play against good teams like Oregon, UW last year, he would throw good passes in garbage time.
Right.
But the rest of the game, where was he?
Right.
And yeah, I don't know. I never saw it. I saw him cry to his mom at the end of one of the games. I don't remember if it was UW or Oregon, but he jumped into the stands and cried into his mom's arms. Whatever, man. That's the new generation of males.
With the whole painting of the nails, I get it. To each their own. I'm just gonna be like, that's weird to me.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but hey, it's his life. I don't live his life for him. He lives his life for himself, and he takes the judgment pretty well, I would say, because he still does it. So he hasn't been bullied away from it. So good for him on that. But I don't know. I hope him well. But anyways, for the Bills.
You want to hear a crazy Bill stat?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So what are we, 7 games in, right? And Josh Allen, as of right now, including today's game, is 98 for 156. So not super terrible, right? 1,160 yards, 10 touchdowns, and no picks.
0 interceptions. So the last couple of years, the narrative was Josh Allen throws a lot of interceptions, and he has. He was at the top of the list for a couple of years. For a while, he was right there at the top with Dak Prescott and a couple other players. But he's really cleaned it up this year. And again, that goes back to coaching.
He threw 18 last year.
Yeah.
That's almost a pick a game.
And it goes right back to coaching where, hey, let's not throw. We don't have to force the ball into places. And with Diggs not being there, he's not having to force feed this receiver that is the best receiver on your team. But you don't have to force feed him these balls. Where right now he's got to throw it safely to Shakir and with Keon Coleman and all these guys, and I would say the top 3 route runner in the league, Amari Cooper, been the best route runner in the league for a long time. Never the greatest catcher. When he was with the Raiders, I think he had the most drops in the NFL for a couple of years. And they went to the Cowboys and did great there. But again, the route running that he does is ridiculous. He'll find a way to get open, and that's what Josh Allen needs, is an open receiver. He doesn't need to force feed a receiver. He needs open receivers.
It was such a oh my God, I've killed my team the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It was such a breath of fresh air. One, to actually, because the first 6 weeks, I don't know. I mean, people that probably don't follow the Bills don't really notice, but Josh Allen's really not running that much.
No, I noticed that.
He ran today for 1 carry, loss of 3 yards. Okay. He's hanging in the pocket more. He will break, and he'll break to the outside, but if there's no one there, he'll run and get a first down. But he's really looking to throw the ball this year. And he's either taking sacks, he's not forcing the ball, thank God, but he'll throw it away. No one's open. I don't know if it's Matt Collins is trash, he's not getting out of his break. Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman's a rookie, so that's up in the air if he gets open or not. Our 2 tight ends, I thought Kincaid would have already had a breakout season this year, but he rarely gets open. Dawson Knox too, right? I thought we were going to kill it with these 2 tight ends.
I liked Dawson Knox for the last couple of years, and it just seems like he's non-existent this year.
Right.
And I don't know what it is, but tight ends have just been lacking. And I think that's across the board right now with the NFL. Is tight ends are just not the targets. If you look at Travis Kelce, he's not the main target anymore. He didn't have a touchdown for the first 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram hasn't really been doing much with Jacksonville. Kittle hasn't been doing much. Dalton Schultz was good last year for Texans. He's not doing that great. He's not doing that hot this year. He's gotten a couple catches, but tight ends just have been non-existent this year. And I don't know if there's just a shift in the play calling or a shift in these guys just not being as fast as they were, or defenses are catching on to what tight ends are nowadays. So there has to be some kind of shift, right? Because Gronk, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, for the last 15 years, tight ends have been one of the top receivers in the league. Obviously, you have your Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Amari Cooper. You have CeeDee Lamb, all these guys that are really, really great. But tight ends are one of those unsung heroes that Travis Kelce averages 1,000 yards a year, over 1,000 yards every single season except for this one. And maybe they'll pick it up and he'll get it. But every single season he's been in the league, he's had 1,000 yards.
Crazy.
And he's there. I think there was a season where he was like the second leading receiver for yards, something like that. And so I think there's a shift in defense where they're kind of spying on the tight end a little bit more to not allow him to kind of get those quick 10, 15-yard catches. Like the one against the Bills, that 13 seconds in the game, right?
Yeah.
That's a huge example where that was all improvised. And
that's where we get fucking killed.
Yeah. He found an open spot. Yeah, he found an open spot in the zone. Said, cool, I'm right here. Throw it, Pat. And then they go down, 3 seconds left, they kick a field goal. And that's just the way it goes. But
quick question for you there. In that 13-second game, if that never happened and Buffalo won that game, would we have won the Super Bowl that year?
That was against the Eagles, right?
Yeah. We lost by 3. Kansas City beat us 27-24.
Wait, no, that was the year that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, wasn't it?
It's just last year or 2020, the
No,
2023 season? Or no,
no.
shit. The 13-second game was 2022. Sorry. The Kansas City has been just killing us. Oh, fuck. It might have been 2021. Let me see.
I think it was 2021.
It was 2021. We lost in overtime to Kansas City, 42 to
Yeah,
38.
and the Bengals won't beat Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl to lose to the Rams.
So, do you think if we would have went, do you think we would have beat the Rams in the Super Bowl?
Yes,
I think
100%.
so too.
100%. I would say a more veteran quarterback in Josh Allen compared to Joe Burrow. You have Matthew Stafford on the other side, but just the comparison of the AFC quarterbacks, Joe Burrow was in his second or third season. Still pretty new to all this. Josh Allen has been to the playoffs multiple times. And I hate to compare them, but the Cowboys and the Bills are so similar.
Very similar.
So similar the last couple of years where they have a great regular season team, but when it matters the most, they're gonna shit the bed. When in the playoffs, and that's been kind of the Bills thing, their whole history, right? And you look at the '90s going to 4 Super Bowls in a row, unheard of, and you can't get one win out of those 4.
Dude,
You can't get.
we should have won one.
Yeah.
God.
You can't win a single, but you have a good enough team to make it every single year, but you can't win it. Like what the fuck are we doing? So but it just goes along with the rest of their history. And eventually they'll jump over that hump. Eventually they'll get over it and get that monkey off their back. But is it going to be with Josh Allen? I hope so. I like Josh Allen. I watched him when he played for Wyoming. Bro, I never thought he would be as good as he is now. In college, he was so inconsistent. He played hero ball, but he was the biggest guy out there, and he could run over anybody.
Right.
I had a couple buddies that I have a buddy out here that played for Utah State as a defensive lineman. And he's like, the one person I always played against that I knew was going to go to the league was Josh Allen, just because he was 6'7", could run like a damn gazelle, and he would get out of sacks. And where he's at, fucking massive arm, and just the consistency was the biggest question going into the NFL. And when they're like, "Oh yeah, Josh Allen is one of the top prospects to get drafted," I'm like, "Fucking why? This guy's not good. He doesn't have the greatest accuracy. He's inconsistent, and he'll throw picks all day. But he runs the ball really well." And then after a couple of years, then I started seeing it. I'm like, all right, this guy is good. I think that you have another maybe 2 or 3 years left with him before it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know.
Because the team around him is changing, right?
Right.
Stephon Diggs isn't there anymore. The running back, Davis Cook, is that what his name is? Something Cook.
Oh, James Cook?
James Cook, that's what it is, yeah. He's still young.
Georgia running back.
Still young, so he's still got a couple years left on two more years on his rookie contract or something like that.
I mean, Josh Allen's 28.
Yeah, but
I mean, if he stops running the ball and just is more of a pocket passer, I mean, I think we'll be okay. But we can't afford, in my opinion, if he saves his body and stops hurdling and trucking dudes. Like, in my opinion, you've already showed the league you can do it.
Yeah.
So only do it when you absolutely have to. But if he can remain solely a pocket passer and just pick people apart from the pocket, or if he has to roll out, whatever. But what's going to kill us is if we put a team together and we don't make it, and then the next year we're in a rebuild. And then we go back. Oh, now we're in another fucking rebuild, right?
Yeah.
And it's always 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate because, like you said, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. But you guys lost your offensive coordinator, last year, right?
Yeah, well, we let him go. It was Ken Dorsey. He got replaced towards the end of the season by our current offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, who I believe, was the offensive coordinator for LSU
Okay.
when they had Burrow, Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson played for LSU, right?
Yeah, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and Justin Jefferson. Yeah.
Oh, that's so dirty, dude.
That's why they had the greatest, like one of the greatest national championship runs in the history. It was crazy. All three of those guys, and then I don't remember who their running back is, but like that whole team was stacked. I don't know. I worry that eventually, because Josh Allen has what, like 3 years on his contract left, right? So he just got paid last year, I want to say, or the year before that.
We paid him. I think it was like for like the long haul. Okay, it's 6 year.
Okay. Damn.
It was a 6 year, $258 million extension.
When did he sign that?
So you're saying that like at the end of that 6 years, like he might move on?
I would say so. If they haven't done anything and they don't put the pieces for a championship run, because it seems like every year they get, I don't want to say every year, but it seems like they have one guy on defense that's going to play good. And then the next year, like Micah Hyde and Poyer, right? They good players, but moved on from them. Now who do they have? Von Miller?
Oh, shit. Okay, so I guess he signed the contract in 2021. So he's under contract until the end of the 2025 season. And then it says that's his potential out. Right?
Oh, okay, so they can take an option, the 6-year option, something like
right.
that.
But if he options and decides to stay, he wouldn't be an unrestricted free agent until 2029.
Oh, shit. He's got a big decision to make next year.
Yeah, well, 2025. So in 2026, he can potentially bail out. I hope not. If we lose Josh Allen, dude, we're gonna suck for 10 years.
Maybe longer.
Dude, like there's no way. And the shitty part is he could probably go to another team with the pieces and coaching in place and win a Super Bowl that year.
Yeah. He's that caliber of player, and they're not putting the pieces around him. And it's very, very similar. Again, the comparison to the Cowboys and the Bills, it's so close. Because look at what Tony Romo had. He didn't have
Witten and all them, right? T.O.
Yeah, he had a couple pieces every once in a while. You know, I think his best season was with Des Bryant, DeMarco Murray, and hold on 1 second.
I remember that. Des caught it.
Exactly. Des caught it.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's someone is moving across the street, and they just put out like a big ass TV with a free sign on it.
Oh.
Kayla's like, go grab it. I will shortly. But the Cowboys, they never gave Tony Romo all the pieces.
Right.
They never had the best defense because one of their best defensive players was DeMarcus Ware for a long time. And he eventually moved on. I think eventually everyone is going to move on, you know, and that's what I worry about with him is that he's either going to get hurt or the environment's not going to be what it needs to be for him. And just move on. It's going to be the same thing with Joe Burrow. I don't think he's going to stay with Cincinnati his whole career.
Wouldn't that be some shit if like later on down the road, 2029, Allen goes to the Bengals and we get Burrow?
Yeah, hey, 2027.
Right.
Trade him. You know. The first round picks for both of them. Send them that way.
I mean, so what do you think about, because I'll be honest, and people hate me for it, but the in Amari Cooper not in the mix, right? Just our offensive receiving core without Amari Cooper was absolute dog shit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. Matt Collins sucks. We got Curtis Samuel. I had high hopes for him. He hasn't done shit. Khalil Shakir, before we had Amari Cooper, was hands down our number one wide receiver. And then we had the two, obviously, tight ends that are like super hit or miss.
And Shakir is just another Julian Edelman. He's another Cole Beasley. All he did was replace Cole Beasley for your guys' offense. That's it.
Yeah.
You can't have that be your number one receiver. Was Wes Welker ever the number one receiver on any team he played for? No.
Because I like Shakir.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He played at Boise State. He's a dog. I love him, but he's not a number one receiver. You can't have your slot, short, white guy be your number one receiver. You just can't. Cooper Kupp is an anomaly, right, for the Rams. He's an anomaly. But you can't have that. Cole Beasley was never the leading receiver for the Cowboys. He was never the leading receiver for the Bills. It's just not the way it goes.
But you know why I like him? Did you know that Khalil Shakir's dad was a master gunny?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just retired like last year.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool.
My buddy, he's older than me, but family friend of mine, he retired as a master gunny, and he served with Khalil Shakir's dad. Damn. So anytime that they play in Buffalo or around the DC area, Khalil Shakir's dad will fly him out and they'll go to the games.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm over here just begging for like a signed fucking football or something, bro.
Right. I know.
I'm not trying to go to the game, but hey, man,
can I just
get football in there?
Right? Like, let me just get a signature from fucking Trayvon Diggs or Zeke, something, man. Get something.
Well, so one thing so tonight is going to tell me maybe I want to see how Rodgers and Adams play tonight.
Yeah.
Because, Buffalo possibly could have got Devontae Adams, right? I mean, he probably didn't want to come here.
Yeah, I think it was the Saints. I don't know if it was the Chiefs. I saw it was the Saints, Jets, and I don't remember the other team. It might have been the Bills, but for sure the Jets.
Steelers.
Oh, yeah, Steelers.
So, whatever. He goes to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, dude, he must have just this year maybe one more.
Yeah.
So, Adams is going to move again.
You can see it on his face.
Dude, yeah. He looks old as shit.
And and I've never seen him throw so many interceptions.
Oh.
Can you think back on his career, and at this point in time in his career, or at this point in time in the season, let me see how many interceptions he has.
Do you think, obviously, Adams off the table, we didn't get him. It is what it is. He went to the Jets. Do you think we still made a solid move in getting Cooper?
Yeah.
I mean, we only paid – his salary was only $1 million.
Yeah, he's on the back of his prime for sure.
He's 30.
He's 30. He's been around the league for a while. He's played for this is his third team. And I would say this is his fourth team. Shit, my bad. Forgot he was with the Raiders, Cowboys, Browns, and then now Bills.
Yeah.
I think this is the best fit for what he's able to do.
We just need someone to get open.
And that's what he does. That's what he does best. That's all he does is get open.
Right.
His route running is, like I said, top 3 route runner in the league. Even, right now where he's at the end of his prime, still a top 3 route runner. For his salary, I don't know. I think they took on the Cowboys' salary because the Cowboys paid him $100 million, $120 for a 5-year contract.
Yeah, shit. I mean, I saw that.
And then traded him the next year.
Okay, all right. Because I saw that we got Amari Cooper. Like, I think he went through like a restart. I don't know, but I think his salary was like $1.21 million, and then to bring him over to Buffalo, I think we paid him like $800,000 league minimum.
Oh, Well, yeah, then that's definitely worth the money.
And the Jets took on, like, as soon as Adams pulled into the building, they had to pay him $11 million. We don't have the money.
He has 1 year left on his contract. Adams
Right.
does.
Yeah,
I mean, he has a. Oh, go ahead.
We don't have the money.
No. And it's crazy because who the fuck are you guys paying, right? For not having money.
Allen, but Allen's taking contract restructures.
Yeah.
To save money, but honestly, I'd have to dig into it because the shit's really confusing to me. But I think we might still be paying Diggs.
There's probably some penalty for trading him.
Right.
But outside of Josh Allen, who else is getting a big contract?
Von Miller.
Yeah, he got like a $58 million.
Yeah, he got paid.
Contract. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Ed Oliver got paid.
Yeah, but still, for having no cap space, you don't have a strong team.
We do not.
And that's where if you look at the Chiefs, right? They probably have a lot of cap space and they're not paying a lot of guys.
Right.
And they're not giving out huge contracts. I mean, Pat Mahomes signed a 10-year, $500 million contract, but restructured that a year later to where they're only getting hit for the first, or I think they're getting hit on the back end of that.
Right. And it's something similar that Josh Allen did.
Yeah, where it's on the back end that they're like, hey, now we can't pay you, so we're gonna have to restructure again and again and again, and it's not the same thing that Aaron Rodgers is going to do. Aaron Rodgers is going to take that money. They're going to offer however much, and he's going to say, yeah. Who else needs to get paid? Only me. Like, bro, what the hell? You got to start paying some of these people. But
I mean, Josh Allen's base salary this year is 1.125. And then if he play, obviously he's going to play next year in 2025. His base salary jumps to $14 million.
Yeah.
So
it's all on the back end, which is a good way because, like, hey, let's get some guys in right now. We're done with the rebuild. Let's fucking win, right? And I feel like the Bills have been done with the rebuild for the last however long Josh Allen has been in the league, since 2017 or something like that. But I feel a rebuild coming within the next 2 or 3 years.
I mean,
and whether Josh Allen is a part of that or he's not, there's going to be some kind of change going in Buffalo, at least from what I'm seeing. Because how many times are you going to go to the divisional round or the AFC Championship game and lose every time because your quarterback threw an interception or fumbled the ball or pitched it for no fucking reason against the Houston Texans, right? Playing hero ball. And again, he has matured a lot more. He's, you said he's 28. So he's definitely matured a lot more. He's grown up in the league. He's doing a lot better, but he doesn't have anyone to throw it to. Amari Cooper, yes, but he's not as fast as he used to be. Shakir is only as fast as he's ever going to be. Keon Coleman, I think, is the greatest threat for defenses at this point in time.
That's what I was going to say. So Keon Coleman today, a shining star, was 4 for 125.
Yeah.
Today. And they robbed him of a touchdown late. I mean, I would have probably called that a touchdown, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine in the league. He has that downfield. He could stretch, fucking stretch the field. He can win the one-on-ones. He has that basketball background at Michigan State.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine in the league. And honestly, back to what you were saying about potential rebuild in a couple of years, I don't give a fuck if we rebuild, but you better find the money to keep Allen.
Yeah.
I'll be real upset if he goes.
Whatever you have to do to entice him to stay.
Dude. I'm down. I'm doing it. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. He's going to feel like you know what he's going to ask for.
Right. So, crazy crazy. Before I forget, crazy fucking question here. DeAndre Hopkins. Okay.
Yeah.
One catch for -2 yards today. Okay. I get it. They had Rudolph in the game, but they were saying, D-Hop was on the sideline. He had a towel over his head. He was like, man, fuck this team. I'm over it. I shouldn't have chased the bag. I came over to a butt cheek organization. They're saying that D-Hop could potentially be on the move.
I don't know.
I hope he is.
I hope he is, but I don't know who's gonna want to pay him for anything.
If we had the money, I would.
I would trade maybe a 7th round pick for him.
Shit, we gave up a 3rd for Cooper.
A 3rd?
I think we gave up a 3rd round.
No, I think it was a 6th round.
Was it a 6?
I think it was a 6th round that could possibly be made into a 5th. I want to say because Devontae Adams was traded for a 3rd round that could be a 2nd. I want to say it was a 6th round pick.
No, which includes the Bills shipping a 2025 3rd round and a 2026 7th round pick to Cleveland.
They gave him 2 fucking picks for this man. Oh my gosh!
They gave him a 3rd and a fucking 6th. But hey, he came in today. He did his thing right with 2 days.
He got a touchdown.
Yeah, he got a touchdown, right? And
good for him.
And I was like, why is he not in the game more? Why are we? I get it. He doesn't understand the playbook, but with a guy like that, a 5-time Pro Bowler, 1,200-yard receiver last year, put him in the game and just have Josh Allen tell him the route in the huddle.
As the number 1 receiver, a lot of those signals don't change. A lot of where the X, Y, they don't change. The routes are all called the fucking same. They don't change. You should be able to plug and play. In theory. Again, I'm not a professional athlete, so it could be different. But in theory, you should, with a receiver, a running back, you should be able to just plug and play. Now, quarterback, that'd be a little bit different. I understand there's a lot more that goes into it. You got to know everything that everybody's doing. But when you're a receiver and you have one job, and that's route running or run blocking. Sorry, 2 jobs. But route running, that's your job. Go out, catch a ball.
So I wanted him in the game more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They should have had him in the game a lot more because when he was in the game in the second half, huge impact on the game. Scored a touchdown and caught some other passes, some good passes, some good catches, and there's just no reason why he shouldn't have been in the game, in my opinion. And I understand being traded is tough. I know there are some signals that are different. Then do stuff that he's familiar with. Josh Allen, learn the things that he knows for this week. Learn some of those things, and just give your boy the ball. That's all you got to do.
Little bit of a rough start when he was in. On that first drive, we went run. James Cook ran for 5, ran for 4. It was 3rd and 1. Josh Allen drops back, hits Amari Cooper on and out. Amari Cooper absolutely just torches Brownlee, hits him right in the chest. And I was like, okay, 3 and out. But I was like, you know what? It's probably him not on the same page with how fast Josh Allen throws the ball.
Yeah.
He's probably not used to, as soon as I turn around, the ball's right here already. But I think that's something they'll learn moving forward. I still like the pickup. We paid absolutely nothing. We gave up a 3rd and a 6th for him, but price-wise,
I'd say 1 more week of growing pains, and then he's going to be getting 100 yards a game. That's my guess.
I feel like if he played the entire game today, he would have went over 100.
Absolutely. He had 4 for 65, something like that?
Yeah.
And a touchdown. If he would have had 2 more catches, he would have gone over 50 or 100 yards.
Yep. I mean, if Keon Coleman, and that's another thing that I think, even if Amari Cooper's on the field and he's not being targeted, he's like a good decoy, right?
Yeah.
Like he'll open up somebody else,
whether
it's Shakir or Coleman, because you have to respect a guy like Amari Cooper. He can burn you.
Yeah, he's not the fastest, but he will burn you because it's his feet. He has, again, great route running where he can get those spaces.
Did you like him when he played for Dallas?
I did. I did. It wasn't the right system for him, though.
Right.
It yes and no, it was the right system because Dak throws the safe ball, or used to. So when he would throw it to Amari Cooper is open, right? But Dak's not going to feed the number one receiver, which I don't know if we're going to move on to that yet, but that's a big problem that we have right now.
So before we jump into the Dallas and the Dallas woes here, how many years did Amari Cooper play with CeeDee Lamb, or if he didn't play with him at all?
2.
Okay. And obviously Lamb was targeted more than Cooper?
For the first season, it was pretty equal. The second season, I would still say it was pretty equal. But you could see the progression of CeeDee Lamb. That he was getting – Amari Cooper would get his targets, but CeeDee Lamb was getting more deeper passes. He'd get more of an opportunity to score a touchdown. He'd get
the flashy shit.
Yeah. And Amari Cooper was getting the down and dirty. Let me get this first down on a little hitch route and get hit while I'm doing that. CeeDee Lamb's I'll catch it in the middle of the field where there's nobody and get you an extra 20 yards or a touchdown, whatever it might be. So you could see the pendulum swing more towards CeeDee Lamb towards the end of Amari Cooper's time with the Cowboys.
So I don't want to bring up a rough spot here, but the Bills rarely play Dallas. What is it, every year, every other year, every 2 years?
I think it's supposed to be every 4 years unless there's some kind of scheduling thing going on. But we've played them every 2 years or so at this point.
So I think we've only played Dallas with Josh Allen twice.
Yeah.
And I think both of those times we beat Dallas. One of them was a Thanksgiving game. I think that game was over by the half. And then the other one, I think just the way it shook out, I think both those games were in Dallas.
I want to say we played 3 times because there was one time that we played in Buffalo and it was snowing. I only remember because I was at Albertsons down the street that has a bar in it. A grocery store with a bar. It was great.
Right.
But I remember I was watching the game at the bar at the grocery store. But it was that was when Dallas's offense couldn't do anything. That was before CeeDee Lamb. Dallas's defense was keeping them in every game. Dallas' defense was on a historic run of keeping teams under 20 points. But Dallas's offense couldn't score. It was with Tavon Austin and other players like that. I can't remember exactly. I don't know. I want to say Amari Cooper was there, but I don't think he was. But I know Tavon Austin was there. And they couldn't get anything going.
So we played Dallas in 2019 in Dallas, and the Bills that was on Thanksgiving. The Bills won 26-15.
Yep.
And then the Bills played Dallas last season in Buffalo, a December game, a week before Christmas, and the Bills won 31-10.
That was the last 2 times? Damn.
Yeah, so 19 and 23. So we probably won't see you guys again for a couple more years.
No, especially if you guys are winning the AFC East. So,
well, I wanted I get upset because I live up here in Northern Cal, and I wanted to, the Raiders left, so that sucks. So I would have loved to have gone to another Bills Raiders, but I'm all right, I'll wait until the Bills play the Niners, and I see that they're on the schedule this year, and I got all excited, and I'm it's a fucking home game. Yep. I would have made the drive to Levi to watch it.
When I was living in Seattle, I was waiting for the Cowboys to come play Seattle.
Never happened.
Never happened.
It was always a home game or whatever.
Yeah. Even their preseason game, they played in Texas. So, yeah, it was depressing. I would have loved to see Dallas live, but no, what's up?
I'll segue. I think right now is a perfect time to segue into the Dallas Cowboys. I know you're a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yep.
I kind of want to touch on not only the overall of Dak Prescott, okay, I want to dive into a little bit about what the fuck happened last week in Detroit. Or was that in Dallas? That was in Dallas.
It was in Dallas.
Ooh, okay. What happened? I didn't watch the game. Unbiased.
What happened was Dallas got punched in the fucking mouth.
They were who we thought they were, kind of situation.
Exactly. Yeah. The Lions, and I'll talk about this a little in a little bit, but the Lions are for real. They're a good fucking team.
They beat the Vikings today.
They did.
Yep.
They're a good fucking team.
That's Dan Campbell.
Oh, it's all.
He'll straight up punch a player. He'll punch a player. I know he would.
Oh, I know he would. Yeah, he looks like the type of guy. He fucking. But, it's a lot of it is coaching, and I will say this until my last breath. Mike McCarthy is not the answer. I was excited, and I'll go a little bit back on, when he got hired to right now. I was excited when he got hired. I was like, we got Mike McCarthy for 5 fucking years. Hell yeah. This guy's a Super Bowl winning coach. He coached Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers. He coached fucking Brett Favre. Like, this is the guy.
Okay, so he came from Green Bay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He had a year in between.
Okay.
But coached at Green Bay, won 1 or 2 Super Bowls there. I think just one, but coached 2 of the greatest, quarterbacks in NFL history. So I thought, hey, this guy's going to be it. And then the clock management stuff started coming up a couple of years ago, and we're like, oh, this guy doesn't know when to call a timeout. Ugh, and then offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, he's a local hero here in Boise because he went to Boise State, and everyone loves him out here. I fucking love the guy. I've had a couple meals with him. Like, I've sat down and had lunch with him a couple times when he was playing at Boise State and after. Great guy, but just running college plays, and then they move on from him. Great.
And he also played quarterback for Dallas, right?
Yes, as 3rd string. So
okay,
he was supposed to be the guy in 2016. So he was a 2nd string quarterback when Dak Prescott got drafted in the 4th round. So it was Tony Romo, Kellen Moore, Dak Prescott. Well, Kellen Moore broke his damn leg in training camp. So then Dak Prescott moves up, and then fucking, Tony Romo breaks his back carrying the damn team again. And that's when Dak Prescott gets elevated to, the starting quarterback. That was supposed to be his year. That's supposed to be Kellen Moore's year, was 2016, but didn't happen. But anyways, I digress on that. But Mike McCarthy he's just not the guy.
Would you want Jason Garrett back?
No.
Okay, all right.
I want Bill Parcells. I want Bill Belichick. I want.
Oh, Belichick. Yeah. Why not? Why not Bill Belichick?
Why not?
Isn't he just taking a year off? That's it? Isn't he coming back?
Yep. He said, I didn't get hired this coaching round, so I'll wait till next year. And Mike McCarthy's on a contract here. I don't know if he'll make it through the rest of the year. If you give me like 5 minutes, I'm going to run across the street and grab this TV before someone snatches it up. Give me like 5 minutes, bud.
All right, go get that TV.
I'll be right back.
It better be worth it. All right, so my boy Tony had to run out real quick. He's going to go snag a TV that the neighbor put out for with a free sign on it. Little does he know it's probably internally broken, but that's something he's going to have to figure out when he hauls that heavy-ass thing back into his house and plugs it in. So all the luck to Tony. He'll be back. If you've just joined us, hit the sub button, support a veteran channel. I'm a veteran. I served here with Tony. He's a veteran as well. He's a diehard Cowboys fan, and I am a diehard Bills fan, as everybody knows. So thank you for rocking with me so far. Tony will be back. I wanted to dive a little bit into the Dallas Cowboys I'm interested. I like to hear about what other people have to say about their team, because I'm going to sit here and I rip on the Bills all the time, right? Yes, we won today. We killed Tennessee in the second half. Great. But there is absolutely no fucking reason why Josh Allen finishes the first half with 57 passing yards. 4 for 11 for 57 passing yards. That's not it, right? If we're playing a team, AFC, playoffs, whatever, most likely AFC, because the AFC teams are super stacked with firepower, we're done. We're a first-round exit. We're going to get knocked off by some wild card team. You know, we're going to win the AFC East, but that's only because the Dolphins lost Tua. They're trash. The Patriots are super trash. And the Jets might be able to turn it around. But I was looking at, the updated AFC East standings as of right now. And as of right now, the Bills are 5-2. And I think the Jets are 2-4. So what is that? It's a pretty, we're 5-2. The Jets are 2-4. They could potentially get to 3-4 tonight if they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go Steelers for tonight. I am interested to see the Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers connection again. Miami's 2-4. They lost today. New England's 1-6. Ooh, woof. Yikes. They're not turning that ship around. So, Master at work, I know you're somewhere, and I hope you're pissed off. Anyway, we played okay today in the second half, but it's that first half that makes me just want to chew a whole bottle of Tums. I'm watching just the same bull, the same lethargic play calling, super predictable, but then it's somehow, I don't know if Joe Brady's like, all right, man, we're gonna give them the facade. We're gonna put out a facade thinking that they're gonna kill us in the first half. We're gonna make this a super close game, but in reality, we're gonna come back out and we're gonna drop 27 unanswered. And that's kind of what happened today. We dropped 27 unanswered points in the second half, and we came back and absolutely slutted the Titans. Granted, the Titans had Mason Rudolph at quarterback, who played absolute like a dumpster fire. If Will Levis played today, because I think he's hurt his ribs or something, if he played today, we still probably would have won the game, but he probably would have played a little better than Mason Rudolph. I don't think he's the guy. And if you watch the game today, all the announcers, I don't know what it is, they always, Mason Rudolph, if everybody remembers when they played the Bills in that wild card, he actually diced him up pretty good, man. This game's going to be real close. And I'm like, well, it's 34-10. So what were you saying about Rudolph? There was like 6 plays in a row. He couldn't even take the snap. He fumbled the snap like three plays in a row. Like, he's not it. Will Levis is not it. And if they keep fucking around, they're going to lose DeAndre Hopkins. And I don't know what they're going to pay for him. I don't know how that whole situation works out. But if it's something that the Bills can even potentially entertain, do it. Sell the farm. Do whatever you got to do to get a guy like D-Hop. Because if we can get D-Hop and Amari Cooper and Keon Coleman with Khalil Shakir in the slot running underneath, bruh, that could be super deadly for us. Super deadly. But like I said, I would have to really dive into the contracts and all that. I really am not super savvy on that shit. But if it's something that we could do, we got to do it. I feel like we're in a win now. As Tony alluded to earlier, we only have a couple more years with Josh Allen. I mean, I hope we keep him for the foreseeable until he retires. Does anybody else want to see Josh Allen go to another team? No, you don't, right? So we got to do everything we can to keep that man. And what do you got to do? 1, you got to pay him, right? But 2, you got to keep him happy, right? You got to put some guys around him that are not just a rookie, not just Khalil Shakir, and 2 tight ends that are arguably playing under their potential, Dawson Knox more so than Kincaid. And that's another thing I got to look into. How much longer are we going to keep Dawson Knox? I got to look into his contract. I mean, at this point, the whole 2 tight end experiment has not been working. And Tony alluded to it earlier. People just have, we're not giving up huge plays to tight ends, right? Just like they're not letting Josh Allen run. He's not getting 50 to 70 yards rushing right now. He had 1 carry today for -3 yards, and that play got called back. So I don't even know why, it's even on the stat sheet, because it got called back for a penalty. And he's back. He is back. He carries a 90-inch TV in his bedroom, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be feeling that later.
That thing was heavy. Yeah, it's got on the base, it's all glass. So
Does it work? Does it work? You think it works?
That's what she said, because the lady's moving across the street. And so I walked over there and she's like, oh, hey, so it does still work. I'm like, all right, well, do you have the power cord? She's like, yeah, it's somewhere in the back of my U-Haul somewhere. I'm like, oh, all right. And she's like, I'll be back sometime this next week if you want me to drop it off then. I'm like, yeah, no, whenever you got time, that's fine.
You talk about the cord that like comes out of the TV and you plug into the wall?
Yeah.
So
those cords detach.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Maybe just buy that shit on Amazon.
No, bro. This was a free TV. I'm not going to waste money on a free TV.
Oh, I mean, a power cord for a TV is probably what, $10?
I don't know, man. Electronics is expensive, but regardless, it'll be here by like Monday. She's gonna bring the remote and the cord for it. It's somewhere in a box. So,
what size is that TV? That looked pretty big.
I want to say it's a 62-inch, but I could be wrong. But it's pretty big, yeah. It's bigger than I have a 55-inch in my room, and this one's bigger than that. So,
that's a nice come up right there, man.
I know. I'm like, hell yeah. I don't know if it's a smart TV, but.
Usually, like in my neighborhood, people don't put out TVs. They put out like just straight up beat couches, like old casting couch leather. It's all ripped and stained up.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, everyone out here is really, really nice in Boise, Idaho. They put out good stuff. She just said she's downsizing and she wanted to keep it, but she just didn't have the room for it. So I'll take it off your hands then.
I wouldn't mind moving to Boise, Idaho, man. I've already told my wife that. I mean, what is it? I mean, I'm geographically retarded. What are you, just one state over? Like you're like northeast of California?
Yeah. So we're right next to Oregon and Washington.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay.
So it goes California, Nevada, Utah, Oregon, Idaho.
Oh, okay.
So we're right above Nevada.
Which is crazy because I was like, you know what? I like I was about to say MapQuest, but I Googled Maps how far it is from my house to where old girl lives in Idaho. It's only 8 hours.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's essentially just driving from here to San Diego.
Yeah.
So I might
drive, but it's not a short. Like it's not a short drive, but it's also not a very long drive. From here to San Diego, it's 16 hours.
Okay, all right.
And when I was in driving down to San Diego was a miserable time. There's nothing in Nevada to drive past. It's such a boring drive, but
well, it's like California too. If you take the 5, it's just nothing but farms, right? So,
bro, I took that trip from Hanford, California.
Yep, it's by Visalia.
Yep. Up to Seattle. 2 years ago, I drove from Hanford up, and that was the worst drive I've ever done.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I did it once,
and there's nothing out there. I saw on my maps it said stay on the Interstate 5 for 650 miles. I said, what? Where am I going? It was nothing out there.
Well, I did the drive once. So I live in Northern California. So I've done it once where I've driven from my house into Oregon and pretty much the whole state of Oregon, where the University of Oregon is.
Yep.
And then into Portland. And then I crossed the bridge into
Washington. Yeah.
Yeah. What city is that in there?
Vancouver.
Yeah. So I've only gone as far as Vancouver. And then I went back across the bridge into Portland. I personally don't like Portland.
I don't either. I lived there in the late 90s. I lived there when I was like 5 or 6. The worst place ever. I've been there a couple of times, and it's just not a good place. So I don't blame you for not liking it.
No, the only thing we did in Portland was we stopped at Voodoo Donuts and then we left.
That's all there is to do there.
Right.
Unless you do drugs, but that's all there is. Yeah, no, I'm happy with the TV. I was wanting to get a TV in my spare room. I had it on my Christmas list too. So this is my second free TV I've gotten because I do maintenance for a property management company, and there's this lady that got evicted. Well, she left her little like 32-inch TV in there, little smart TV, and she'd been out for like 2 weeks at this point. So I'm like, well, I need a TV in my daughter's room. So we threw that in my daughter's room, and then this is my second free TV I've gotten since I've lived here in Idaho.
That's sweet, dude. I mean, so I know you Twitch, I know you play, and I know you stream on YouTube. Is there a way that I don't know how it works. This is a general question. Is there a way to like invite and then I join on and play?
Yeah. So there is on Twitch, it says invite, like co-party, something like that. So there is a way. We just have to set it up.
Because you play on PS5, right?
Yeah.
And NCAA is crossplay?
Yeah.
Okay. I might have to have an old Pac-10, Pac-12 showdown between SC and Oregon.
Yeah, I might have to. Although Genty at BSU, though, he's like a 99 overall for Boise State. So have you seen anything on this guy?
No.
The Boise State running back that's
Barry
Sanders record?
Yeah. Like just a couple weeks ago where he ran for 300-400 in the same game or something like crazy.
It was he hasn't broken 300 yet, but he's at 1,200 yards on like 120 carries.
Fuck.
And his first game he had 276. Second game against Oregon had 2 touchdowns, 193 yards, or 3 touchdowns, something like that, almost 200 yards. And bro, this guy's just on something else.
So definitely a first-round draft pick here.
I think so. And Cowboys needs running back.
Who is your running back right now? Elliott and who else?
Rico Dowdle.
And
Deuce Vaughn.
Okay, but majority of the carries are going to Dowdle.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, Jerry Jones said that he's saving Zeke for later in the season. I'm like, bro, we're not going to make it to the playoffs. So why are we saving him?
What's your record right now?
3-3.
Okay.
3-3, 3-4.
Have you played Philly yet?
No, we haven't. Yeah, we're 3-3. We play them in, since we're on bye this week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks. Beginning November 10th, Marine Corps birthday. We play the Eagles.
Cowboys blow up standing. Jerry Jones, Super Bowl contention. Now, who is that? Okay. So they were saying, I had to pull it up because I read it and I didn't want to be wrong. I guess there was like a lot of craze in the fan base wanting Dallas to push for getting Khalil Herbert, the running back
from the Bears.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about that. I would prefer, I'm trying to think of who else. Kamara, I think, formally requested a trade. I heard that today.
Oh, my God.
And
if we didn't have James Cook, I would want him so bad.
And Kamara said that the Cowboys is one of his destinations that he would want to go to, and Cowboys have been calling the Saints about him.
He's the kind of player that you just give them what they want. Like,
yeah,
that's like an Adams situation. Like, just pay him.
Yeah, if we could get Kamara, that would be the best thing that's happened this year.
It might take a lot of pressure off of Dak Prescott. I haven't watched any games.
Is when the ball is in Dak Prescott's hand to play a game, and that's what happened last week, and that's what's happened every week this year, is Dak Prescott cannot manage the game by himself. He cannot do it. When Zeke was in his first 3 seasons with the Cowboys, they ran the ball heavily, and they were winning, and they were making it to the playoffs, and beating teams to get into the divisional round. They beat the Seahawks one year to make it to the divisional round. Lost to the Rams, but the Rams went to the Super Bowl that year. But when Dallas wins the time of possession, they win the game. But without being able to run the ball, I don't like Guyton, our tackle, right now. He's a rookie. I don't like him. He's slow. He talks a lot of shit, but doesn't back it up. And we can't run the ball with Dowdle. Dowdle's not a starting running back in this league. He is a great second string. He's a great, hey, fill in. Let's, give the main guy a break.
Like change a pace back kind of thing.
Yeah. But he's just a slower Zeke. That's all he is.
Okay.
Deuce Vaughn is like 5'2". Like a Darren Sproles, but just not as good.
Okay.
And so we just don't have a running game. And when you're not able to run the ball, what do you have to do? You have to pass it. So you're putting the ball in Dak's hands. And then what does he do? Well, he's not giving it to CD Lamb, the guy that just got paid $130 million. He's not giving it to, the Fredrickson tight end. He's not giving it to him. He's giving it to Tolbert, that's been in the league for a couple of years, which is cool. That's awesome. But he's not the number one guy. But he's been the number one guy. Brandon Cooks is on IR, so we don't have him. Micah Parsons is hurt. Marcus Lawrence is on IR. We're just running thin. That's the biggest thing.
So to hear like Dak Prescott's woes, right? To put it into perspective, he's played 6 games. He has 1,600 passing yards. That's 400 more than Josh Allen, but he has 8 touchdowns to 6 picks. So Josh Allen just beats him in 2 more touchdowns and no interceptions.
Yeah, and winning close games when he needs to. Close games at the beginning, sorry, because he did lose to Houston, but both lost to the Ravens.
Did the Dallas? Did they have your hopes up after the first NFL Week 1, but before people knew that Cleveland was shit?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So because everyone said that the Browns were going to have top 3 defense in the league.
Dude, they were dirty last year.
And I believe it because Myles Garrett is a dog. He's a beast. He's something else. He's, one of the top 2 defensive player in the league right now. There's only a couple edge rushers that are up there. You have TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, and Myles Garrett. Those 3 guys.
Bosa.
Yeah.
But okay, elite. Micah Parsons is elite.
Yes. TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, and Myles Garrett are elite. And then so close, but right below that is Joey Bosa.
Okay, that's fair.
But I lost my train of thought. So I thought that the Browns were going to be good this year. Deshaun Watson's coming off healthy. He's coming out healthy. They have Amari Cooper. They have, Nick Chubb is hurt, but Ham Ford or whatever Ford, he's a good, decent running back that can get stuff done. And Deshaun Watson went out and shit the bed. The defense went out and shit the bed. And I said, this is the Cowboys team that we've been waiting for. This is going to be, I'm not going to say this is our year, but this is going to be a good year. The NFC East is wide open. Commanders are probably not going to be that good. And this is all week 1. These are all week 1 thoughts. The Commanders are probably not going to be that good. The Eagles, they're probably going to be decent, but the Commanders will probably be 3rd. Eagles are going to be 2nd. Cowboys are going to be number 1, and the Giants are going to sit at the bottom because they're ass and they're always going to be ass.
Right. Yeah.
Then I saw the Giants beat the Browns. Like week 2, whatever the fuck that was, whatever. Against the Saints, it was a rough loss, but it is what it is. We were able to move the ball later in the game. We were just trading touchdowns for field goals. And then we saw the Giants beat the Browns. And I said, oh, that win against the Browns isn't as impressive as it was 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And then we lost to the Ravens, almost came back. Giving me a heart attack, getting a damn onside kick. Come on. And then scoring, bringing it within 3. what are we doing? Like, why are we waiting till the fourth quarter to play?
Yeah, that was a bad beat.
It was, and with how they played in the fourth quarter, they could have absolutely kept in pace with the Ravens all game. And it's the comparison that I had before. The Bills and the Cowboys are so similar, where they start out so slow, and oh hey, it's the fourth quarter, we're down by 20. We need to pick it up a little bit. Like, why? Why couldn't we? We have the talent, we have the ability. Why don't we do that in the first fucking quarter, the first half? Let's just do that. And then we move on to beating the Steelers on Sunday night in Pittsburgh. Crazy. I didn't expect Dak to be clutch like that. He's not a clutch player. He's not him. He's not the guy to do that. But they did it. Phenomenal. And then we go off that high to lose by 42 points or 41 points, something like that. I don't remember exactly the score. It was 47-9. So we lost by 38 points at home, which is the worst loss we've had since the 70s or 80s, something like that, at home. We don't get beat like that at home. We were 8-0 last year. This year we are 0-4 or 0-3 for the regular season, 0-4 since the end of last regular season. So including the playoffs, we're 0-4, 0-5 at home right now. And we don't have a good defensive coordinator. You have some of the best defensive players in the league. You have Trayvon Diggs, the guy that just got hurt at the beginning of the year. Oh, Deron Bland broke the record for pick sixes last year. DeMarcus Lawrence, and we're not able to stop the run. We can't stop these quarterbacks from throwing the ball. We can't. Notoriously, the Cowboys have been good against running quarterbacks. We've seen that against Justin Fields. We've seen that against Kyler Murray. We've seen that against a lot of these, mobile quarterbacks. They're good at containing. Not this year. And they can't read the read option. They can't stop the run on the outside when you have the most elite, one of the top, elite defensive players in the league with Micah Parsons. He just doesn't seem like he's into it. No one on that team seems like they're into what's going on. It seems like they're still thinking it's preseason. That's what it seems like.
Right.
And it's like, when are we going to switch gears? When is Mike Zimmer going to get fired? When is Mike McCarthy going to get fired? When are we going to make a change to light a fire under these guys' asses? Because, again, we have the talent to go deep into the playoffs. But we don't have the veteran presence. We don't have the leadership, the experience to make it deep into the playoffs. And that's the biggest difference.
So I think it's fair that you said, as Josh came in, it's just as simple as they got to want it.
They have to.
That's it. And it just boils down. The Bills are the same fucking way, dude. Dallas, you said it. Dallas is the Buffalo of the NFC, and we're the fucking Cowboys of the AFC.
Every year, you guys have the talent. You guys have the ability to make it deep. But what are you going to do with it when it matters? Nothing.
Okay, so is Dallas going to the playoffs this year?
No.
You don't even make it at all.
I think they win one game the rest of the season. Right now, I have them winning against the Panthers in week 15.
You don't think they'll surprise you and beat San Francisco out of the break?
No.
Is that game in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's in San Francisco, and then we have the Falcons in Atlanta, and then we have the Eagles. We might split with the Eagles, maybe, but then we have the Texans, and then we have the Commanders. Commanders, I think, are for real this year. Then we have the Giants. Then we have the Bengals. Week 15, we have the Panthers, and then we have Bucks, Eagles, and Commanders again.
So
I don't have them winning a game until week 15.
So you don't see them beating Kirk Cousins and the Falcons?
No.
Damn.
Kirk
Even
Cousins and the
the
Falcons.
Seahawks just shit on the Falcons.
Yeah, but the Falcons also beat the Chiefs.
Hmm.
Wait, no, they might have lost to the Chiefs, but it was a close game.
Yeah,
but
the Chiefs are undefeated.
Yeah, that's right. But they've had some close games. They beat the Eagles. The Falcons, I think, are pretty close to being up there as a for real team. But yeah, I don't see the Cowboys winning any other games, and even that Panthers game, I'm kind of iffy about.
Oh man, I mean, is it like absolute panic time if you lose to the fucking Panthers?
Oh, it's
already panicked.
It's already panicked. What are you talking about? What have the Saints done since they beat the Cowboys?
Oh God, nothing.
They're 0-5 since then.
Yeah, they got killed by Denver in one of the biggest bad beats I've ever seen. The over-under was like 37.
Did you see the Buccaneers game last week?
I did. Yeah.
57 to like 20 something. Yeah, or 31 to 57, something like that. It is a full-on panic mode in Dallas.
And isn't it, because I feel the same way with the Bills, right? Like, probably more so in Dallas because you have better players, but that should make it even more infuriating. Like, why do we suck?
Yeah, I know, every year. Like, we have the best players in the league. Why do we suck? I'm gonna have to wrap this up a little bit just because we have a very, very grumpy baby.
Yeah, no worries, man.
But we'll schedule another time for me to come on and talk about this stuff. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and people that are gonna watch. Appreciate y'all. So I'm a head out though.
All right, man.
Good luck to all the teams tonight and tomorrow. So I'll hit you up though.
Alrighty, sounds good, man. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
All right. So that was my boy Tony giving us the lowdown here on not only the Buffalo game today, but also a little bit into the Dallas Cowboys. And I think we came to the same consensus here, right? I mean, you don't want to hear it, but are the Buffalo Bills the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC? Probably, right? Are the Cowboys the Buffalo Bills of the NFC? Probably. It's a good comparison, right? And just taking being unbiased about it, being honest about it. Shit you don't want to hear as a Bills fan. It's shit you don't want to hear as a Dallas Cowboys fan, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, Josh Torres hit it on the head. They got to want it, dude. You got to want it in this league. You can't come out lackadaisical, lethargic, and just overall play pussy ball in the first quarter, second quarter, going into half, being down, and expect to come back and win like that every week. It's not going to happen. Okay. Like against Baltimore, Houston, Kansas City, they're going to score pretty much anytime they get the ball. Whether it's a touchdown or a field goal, they're putting points on the board. Okay. The Bills today, I'm going to come back with some content once I have time to break it down. I am happy the Bills won today. Don't get me wrong. Anytime we can win, it's hats off. I'm excited. Victory Sunday, right into a victory Monday. But there are a lot of things that we have to clean up in the Bills organization, right? It's our defense, our defensive lines on skates, our safety play. I mean, we just happen to play a shitty team today. We should have put up more than we did. I mean, granted, I get it. We won. We put up 34-10. It's a solid win, but that game probably should have been 60-0. In all honesty, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, 1 catch, -2 yards. Like, we should have 8. We should have had 10 sacks today. But hey, stand by for that content coming out. If you're new to the channel and you stumbled in and watched this, me and Tony talking about the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys, salute to you. Hit the sub button, support a veteran channel. If you've already subbed to the channel, super appreciate you. Thanks for rocking with me. Until then, Prime's out.